Our theme this month is Good to Great to Grand. And I think most of us who've been on a spiritual path for a while can see that we have evolved into happier and more loving people. And as we see the connection of all things, we have a reverence for all life and a deeper compassion for each other. We all know that our thought is creative. All of our coursework is based on the idea of reprogramming our thoughts so that when we are aware that our thinking is not in alignment with the attributes of spirit, love, truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, abundance, then we can gently and deliberately bring ourselves back to that truth of who we really are. I loved what Louise read this morning because it's a perfect introduction into this particular topic. It's a lifelong process, and just about the time that we think we have it, something sets us on our heels and we need to regroup and to remember that we are God in form and turn our attention back to those things that we do wish to experience in our lives. Our topic today is the value-led life. And this week we're going to explore our own core values and how to live from them more fully. When I was younger, it seemed like every single week there was a workshop on core values. There was and I haven't seen any for a long time. So maybe this is our refresher. So according to the materials from our field ministers, learning to live from our values is a transformative journey of self-discovery and alignment. It begins by understanding the areas on which we focus our attention and energy. By consciously directing our energies toward pursuits that resonate with our values, we create a life that is in alignment with who we are. Exploring and embracing our passions allows us to tap into the wellspring of inspiration and joy within us. When we align our actions with our passions, we infuse our lives with purpose and fulfillment. Understanding and clarifying our beliefs helps us navigate the world with integrity and authenticity. So by identifying our core values and aligning our thoughts, words, and deeds with them, we establish a strong foundation for living in harmony with our true selves. And he says, by integrating the elements of attention, passions, and beliefs, we turn our values into action, enabling us to live authentically and wholeheartedly. Our personal values are a central part of who we are and who we want to be. And as we define those core values, they become the elements that guide us to wiser choices than if we didn't know what those values are. Some of life's decisions are really about determining what we value most. When many options seem reasonable, we can rely on our values to point us in the right direction. When how we live matches our values, life is usually good. When our existence doesn't align with our personal values, that's when things are out of sorts. In The Laws of Money, Suze Ormond writes, "A few years ago, I came to understand that when we all enter this world, we do so with two wings. One wing is the wing of grace, and whether we know it or not, that wing is flapping by our side, supporting us 24 hours a day. The other wing, which we have to consciously activate, is the wing of self-discovery. This wing has to flap equally with the wing of grace. And when it does, we will have flight into the world of unlimited possibilities where anything and everything is possible. Then, and only then, will we understand how powerful we truly are." So to me, the wing of grace that Suze Ormond is talking about is what Deepak Chopra calls the sea of potentiality. It is the full creativity of spirit that is freely given. And self-discovery, then, is the effort we make to bring that potential into our experience. From our spiritual side, we have been given all of the gifts of spirit. From our human side, it is up to each of us to activate those gifts in our world of affairs. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, says, grace means that which is given. Works means that which is earned. Since everything is given, we will have to earn the right to use it by perception and through action. And we earn this right through self-exploration. When we are actively involved in the process of self-discovery, we can begin to replace limiting beliefs and thoughts with a deeper awareness and understanding of our core values. When we claim the attributes of God as our own birthright, then we can step into a bigger version of ourselves. Knowing our core values and keeping them at the front of our consciousness helps us live from a deeper place, so that, as Sue Ormond says, our second wing of self-discovery flaps equally with the wing of grace. Pastor John C. Maxwell says, your core values are the deeply held beliefs that authentically describe your soul. So there's some blue things on the table. These are values. There's a whole slew of them. And they suggest that to know what your core values are, try to condense them to about 15 that really resonate with you. And actually, I would reduce them to 5 and no more than 10. And once you have identified these words as your core values, then write a statement that further defines each one as it applies to you. For example, if generosity is one of your core values, your statement might be, I am thankful for all that I have, so I give my time and money freely and with love. And when you're finished with those 5 to 10 to 15 statements, you're going to have your own manifesto to live by. We also have to remember that values can be completely reversed in certain circumstances. You may have truthfulness on your list of values. But what if you saw a fox run by you, followed by a group of hunters on horses? How would you answer their question, which way did the fox go? I'm not going to tell them. And there's a story about when the Titanic was sinking. Was a very rich woman who was in her cabin when the order came to abandon ship was given. There was no time to pack possessions. She noticed 2 things on her dressing table, her jewel box and a bowl of oranges. She made a rapid assessment of what was most valuable to her in the situation she was in now. And she abandoned her jewels and quickly grabbed oranges that she might give nourishment on the open sea where jewels would be valueless. I read a story. Well, there's a story that Stephen Covey tells, and he was talking about values. And he said, Hitler had values. And one of his values was to unify Germany. But he didn't have that other wing. He didn't have that wing of understanding who and what we really are, that we are all connected to the one source. So values have kind of an interesting, they take an interesting turn now and then. Reverend Ryan Alexander, co-founder of Soul Evolution Collaborative based in Florida, is the contributor of this month's theme and topics. And he gave us 3 discussion points. which are attention, passion, and beliefs. So we're going to look at those. He says that where we place our attention plays a vital role in the process of discovering and living from our values. When we direct our energy and attention, where we direct our energy and attention determines what we perceive, experience, and ultimately prioritize in our life. By consciously focusing our attention on the aspects that align with our values, we become more attuned to the things that truly matter to us. And it allows us to filter out those distractions and noise that we often encounter in life. Being true to ourselves may take precedence over making somebody else happy, pleasing somebody else. So when we know that these are our values, then we can look at what we're going to experience or trying to experience, and does it fit? And if it doesn't, how do I change that so that it does? So ultimately, attention serves as a compass that guides us on the path to discovering and living from our values. You and I have the capacity to stand apart from ourselves and examine our thinking, our motives, our history, our scripts, our basic belief systems, and then our actions and tendencies that stem from these. And this, too, is part of paying attention. So much of the time, we're responding to life in habitual ways that we inherited, and often from infancy. And we never question those beliefs to see if they truly hold meaning for us. My mother was very critical, and I grew up believing I could never live up to her expectations. I've done a lot of work on this, yet even today when someone's critical of me, I sometimes recoil in defense instead of seeing the constructive message that I'm being given. I am responding to my mother, not the person in front of me. So when I can step back and take a moment to remember that this is my tendency, then I can move into that present moment and listen with love, respond in love, and then grow through that experience. So attention then is being mindful not only of our outer experiences, but of our inner responses and reactions. Passion is number 2. Reverend Ryan says, understanding the things that stir passion within us points us in the direction of our values. Our passions are the powerful currents that flow through our being, guiding us towards experiences that bring us joy and meaning. When we take the time to understand and connect with our passions, we gain insight into what truly matters to us on a deep level. So many of us, I think, are re-examining what passion is to us. In younger years, we threw ourselves into our work. We threw ourselves into projects. We threw ourselves into raising our kids. And we were passionate about that. There was a strong emotion. But passion for me today means something else. It really means to see the awe and wonder in everyday experiences. Mary Oliver, in her poem Summer's Day, says, "Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who's eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away." I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down into the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the field, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. To me, that's passion. To me, that's passion. That you can have passion over a bug. The word passion from the Greek means to be acted on. And it can range from eager interest in or admiration for an idea, proposal, or cause, enthusiastic enjoyment of an interest or activity, strong excitement, attraction, or emotion. But sometimes, to live passionately, we simply need to kneel down in the grass, to spend a minute with a grasshopper, or an ant, or a butterfly. To live with passion is not to let those tiny miracles go unnoticed, but to embrace them and make them the stars of our day. And the third one he talks about is belief. Reverend Ryan says that our beliefs serve as the foundation upon which our values are built, shaping the way we perceive ourselves and others and the world around us. Our systems of belief influence our thoughts, actions, and decisions. Our beliefs are those deeply ingrained ideas and principles that influence our understanding of what is important, meaningful, and true. They form the lens through which we interpret our experiences and shape our values. So our beliefs provide a framework for defining our values as they determine what we prioritize, what we stand for, and what we aspire to. I think most of us here understand that what we think about, what we believe about life, is what we must experience. This is the law of cause and effect at work. No change ever comes about by attacking the problem. Change comes only when there is a change in what we believe. By consciously exploring and aligning our beliefs with our authentic selves, we cultivate a value system that reflects and allows us to live with integrity and authenticity. By harnessing the power of attention, passion, and belief, we can take steps toward a value-led life. This starts by cultivating mindfulness and directing our attention towards understanding our core values. And then we can begin to shift our system of thought, belief, and action in ways that align with those values. Aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with these beliefs guides us toward living a life of integrity and authenticity. And then that way, our wing of grace and our wing of self-discovery flap in tandem and give us the ability to fly. Thank you. Namaste.